up, y'all? It's your girl, Shay Renee. So let's just get into it, shall we? What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Shay Renee, and we are back to talk about Toya and Reginae, okay? This is season 2 of Toya and Reginae. I love this show. It is actually pretty cute. Let me tell y'all something. Toya Johnson Rushing, she is a boss, B-I-E-I-E-I, okay? She is a boss in her own right. I love to see Reginae in a new light. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. When Reginae was a little younger, or when she was going to Clark Atlanta, I wasn't really checking for Reginae. I felt like she was very spoiled. She was entitled because she felt like she was Lil Wayne's daughter. But like seeing her as an adult in this element of her life, in her like mid-20s or whatever the case may be, it's actually really cool. It's pretty cool seeing her really like growing into being a woman, right? So this season is a continuation of what happened in Toya's relationship with her brother Casey. Toya is a person that has always taken care of her family. She's always been there for them. She's the one that always wants to keep her family together and make sure everybody getting along, right? But it don't always seem to work out that way. What's up, MLC Capricorn 72? She says, hey, Shay and chat. What's up? What's up? Thank you so much for joining. Vanessa Jones says, hi, Shay. What's up? What's up? Thank you for being here. I appreciate y'all. Let me get these orders off the daggone screen. Okay. So, y'all, the episode starts off where Toya is sitting down at lunch with her best friend, Danielle. Okay. Danielle is kind of like the sounding board for everybody. She listens to everybody's problems in the family. Everybody seems to come to her, and she seems to be the person that everybody has a conversation with to make sure it makes sense before they take it to Toya, because Toya is a Scorpio, and you know, you got to come correct with her, or she gonna be like, I'm gonna block you, I'm gonna cut you off, I don't want to deal with you. Okay, so she sits down and talks to Danielle, and they talk about working out and whatever the case may be, but Danielle ain't about to be working out no damn way. Okay, Toya and her husband Red own a company called Wait No More, a gym called Wait No More. Okay, so they've had a lot of clients there. They've helped a lot of people lose weight, but Danielle ain't one of them. She said, I ain't coming up in that gym. I'm going to go ahead and lay on the table if I need to have something done. And my liquid diet is alcohol. That's it. Okay, and I'm like, all right, Danielle, I appreciate your honesty, sis. Appreciate your honesty. So Toya was invited to be the 6th Ward Steppers queen in New Orleans. Okay, so that is like a high honor for her, and she took on this honor, and she was dressing up and going down there. She was going to be in a parade. So they sit here and talk about how her brother Casey came down there and embarrassed out of her. Okay, Casey is her younger brother that Casey gets on my nerves. I can't stand Casey. Casey is very entitled. And from what people are saying, or what Toya and Reginae kind of explained last season, is that a lot of the men in New Orleans are like this, where they're very entitled and very moody, very like possessive. I don't know if that's true, because I'm from Maryland, DC area. So I don't know. I only know what these men act like. Okay. And I done dipped and dabbed in a couple of the men up in Pennsylvania, you know, by way of Philly, and where else? I think that's the only place I done went over the state lines. Oh, in Virginia. But that's still DMV. But I don't know about the New Orleans guys, but apparently this is how they act. So Casey gets on the float with Toya. This is supposed to be like a joyous occasion. They supposed to be having a good old time. But Casey get all drunk and start acting a fool and bumping people and doing the most on the damn boat. And he makes an excuse. We see him in a parallel scene where he's talking to a family friend named Chance. I think that was his name. Child, I can't even understand my own damn handwriting. But I think his name was Charles Chance, something like that. So he's talking to him and he's basically like, I'm mad at Toya. Toya has blocked me. She not talking to me because, she didn't understand that I just kind of had to zone out because I was thinking about their brothers. They had two brothers that passed away, Rudy and Joshua. Okay. These brothers have passed away due to some type of, street violence of sorts or whatever in the streets of New Orleans years ago. So Casey has been one of the brothers that has gone to jail. He's been in and out of jail. Toya is always coming to save him and trying to be there for him. But he talks to her crazy. Like he talks to her like a dog. And he thinks that she's supposed to just be around him and be his punching bag. I don't get it. I don't understand how any man can think that that's okay. But then he'll come to Toya if you watch season 1. Oh, hell. Can y'all see me? This camera always want to do its own thing. I also don't like it to be, truthful with you, but we're going to work it out, do what it is. But also from season 1, he would do things like call Toya all types of names, call her out of her name, and then come and ask her for some damn money. I'm like, Toya, at this point, I don't know why the fuck you keep on dealing with him, because family or not, I get it that you love your family, but you be blocking him and then you back in his good graces. Like he's back in your good graces, but he doesn't change the behavior. He continues to act like a plumb damn fool. And I don't get what's in his mind where he thinks that because he's been to jail and because he's gone through things, that Toya should sit up there and take his verbal abuse. It's not okay. It's not okay. And then you think that she's supposed to pay for things for you. I saw him on the internet the other day. He was upset with Reginae because I think he found out that Reginae had purchased a $20,000 watch for her ex-boyfriend. What's his name? Armand. And Armand did a response video talking about something. Yeah, I'm wearing the watch, whatever. So what you going to do? Who cares? And I'm like, they're not even together no more. And if Reginae want to spend $20,000 on a watch for her boyfriend, that's her business. She's a grown lady. What she does with her money is her own business. That don't have nothing to do with you. And you're not entitled to her spare change or her over expenditures. You're absolutely not. You're her uncle. And if you needed $20,000, what did you need it for? The reality is when you are a family member, right, of a celebrity or somebody that has a whole lot of money, just because you can't make the same types of purchases that they can make doesn't mean that you're entitled to be around to enjoy the fruits of their labor for when they do buy expensive things. So if she spends $20,000 on something, it should only be spent on things that you can indulge in with her? No. If she bought the man a $20,000 watch, that's what it is. I'm sure he spent money on her too. The reality is, Casey, you need to mind your business and you need to grow up. This man really is an overgrown child. And every time he comes on the screen, it's like I'm torn. It's like you in a rock and a hard place with Casey, because Casey, in 1 minute, he can be very lovable and he can be funny. Like he's the one that kind of brings some entertainment to the show as well. But then the next minute, you like, oh my God, this dude is a bitch ass nigga. Like, I'm just really tired of him. So it's like he just very up and down, very all over the place. But moving on, Toya has blocked him at this point because she's like, I'm not about to be dealing with him and his bullshit. I need to take a break. Okay. All the tea in China says, hello, Shay and Chad. What's up? How you bees? Thank you for joining. MLC Capricorn 72 says, yes, they are my family. My family is from there. Oh, really? So you know how the men are in New Orleans? Ooh, child. That is crazy to me. I wonder what makes them like that. Child, Casey and Walter pretty much cussed them out on the internet a few weeks ago. What? Who they cuss out? Child. But Walter seems to be more level-headed to me. We get introduced to Walter later on in episode 1, or I think it's episode 2 or whatever. But and he's also her brother that has gone to jail. But he's also been in and out. He has a daughter that he hasn't really been in her life or whatever because he's been in and out of jail. But I think that Walter is way more mature than Casey. And Walter is older. But, I kind of feel bad for Walter too, which we're going to get into it when we get to him. I feel like Walter is coming out of jail and now, Toya is like dumping on him. You know what I mean? Like, I think that he's close to her in the tribe of children because the father apparently got 26 kids. It's between 17 and 26 children. Okay. I think the mother had 8 children amongst all of them, but the ones that have gone, passed on. So there's Toya, her sister, Walter, Casey, and the 2 brothers. So it's 7 of them with the mother. So with that being said, Walter coming out of jail and him just trying to get his own feet under himself. I just feel like Toya is looking for any type of relief that she can get. But Walter needs to kind of find himself and figure it out. Like getting him engrossed into all of that stuff with the family, I just think it's kind of too soon. I do think that he's way more level-headed. I think that he will be a person that can, kind of steer crazy Casey in the right direction. But it's just a lot. Like, Walter seems like he's the type that went in and out of jail because he was doing so much for his family and probably making poor decisions on how he was trying to nurture the family. So hopefully this time he doesn't get into the foolishness that he was into before, if you know what I mean. Okay. MLC Capricorn 72 says, Toya and Reginae, you won't think so after you see that video. What video? Okay, so Casey and Walter pretty much cussed him out on the internet a few weeks ago. Oh, they cussed Toya and Reginae out? Is that what they did? Oh, I gotta find this video. I won't think that Toya and Reginae are good people after that. Oh, child, I got to see this. MLC Capricorn, you gonna make me look for it right now. Let me look this up. This is my work phone. It ain't going. Casey and Walter cuss out Toya and Reginae. Let's see if it'll come up. Good old Google. Crash out. 2 weeks ago, Casey exposes Toya and Reginae and Walter and more. What? Okay, I gotta watch that. I found a video. I'm gonna have to watch that. But from what I've seen on the show, Casey is an asshole. But I am glad that he actually has started to go to therapy. I hope that he is talking to the therapist. And I appreciate Walter actually saying, damn, Walter was worse than Casey. Oh, hell, he didn't drink the Kool-Aid. I got to see this. But I can appreciate how the Walter actually asked Casey, are you telling the therapist the truth? Are you dealing with your issues and being honest about it? And Casey kind of jumped around it. He ain't telling the therapist the truth, but I remember the scene with him talking to the therapist. The therapist can see through Casey's bullshit because she's like, okay, well, what prompted this to happen? What did you do? I can appreciate that. So anyway, we move on to Reginae. Reginae is no longer living in Atlanta. She's still living in LA, and she's paying like $15,000 to $20,000 a month for a freaking apartment. Okay, so a rental property. So Danielle and Toya go over to LA to visit her. So Toya is like, I want to go and be in the warm weather anyway. Let me go visit her, and I miss Reginae. So she goes over there, and they set up home tours for her. So they go look at houses because they're looking at like $4 million homes, $1 million plus homes, because for what she's paying for the house that she's living in, she could be paying that and own the home. So they're like, if you're going to stay here, you might as well get yourself a house. And even when she was talking to Reginae in episode 3, we see her talking to her father, Lil Wayne. And Lil Wayne was like, yeah, definitely costs a grip to live here, for sure, for sure. But like, if this is what you really want to do, you got to make sure you can afford it. I wonder if he's still funding her life, because I'm pretty sure he is in a big way, but I'm pretty sure she's getting some money from endorsements or acting gigs and stuff like that. And she did say that that's why she remains in LA, because she wants to find more acting roles, and she's been trying out for things. Even in Atlanta, she said she was doing that, but she had said at one point that she gets more gigs in Atlanta than she does in LA. So I'm like, girl, if you don't take your ass back to Atlanta and save money. But I feel like she's feeling some type of way about Atlanta. I'm going to be honest with you. I think she moved to LA to still be around Armand. That's what I think. I think she moved there because she felt like she could reconcile the relationship, and it would be easier if she was actually in LA closer to him. Now, she did have the whole situation with somebody invading her space. It was the robbery in Atlanta in her townhouse that she was living in. But like, you go all the way to LA and you paying all this money for an apartment, essentially. It's like, that don't even make any sense. You were probably spending way less on your townhouse in Atlanta. And your mom was there. You had support. You had a support system there. Even though in LA she has her dad, which she has a great relationship with him, and then she has a couple of her friends. I see that she's friends with Taina. I didn't know that she had been friends with Taina that long. Taina is G Herbo's girl. I don't think that's his girlfriend anymore, but baby mama or whatever. They have 2 children together, and G Herbo also has a child with Moneybag Yo's girlfriend. What's her name? She got the little cooking channel on YouTube as well. But anyway, she has a core system of friends in LA that she hangs out with. And Toya and Danielle bring to her attention, you out here just spending money like you ain't, it ain't never going to end. You're going out to eat with your friends. You spending all this money on all this stuff. You better stop, because your ass will be broke at some point. Like, money doesn't grow on trees. And I feel like a lot of times with these celebrity kids, they don't get that. I don't know if like it's the thing that because they don't really have to struggle or whatever. And it's like, listen, I don't know how many records Lil Wayne is still selling, but I'm sure he has to take care of himself. And you're not his only child anymore, baby girl. Lil Wayne got like 11 other children. I don't know if it's 11, but he got a lot of other children. Okay. You ain't the only child, honey. So, and they're younger than you. You in your 20s. Them kids are small. They ain't even 18 yet. So he probably still paying child support for those. But ain't my business. Okay. Ain't my business. So moving on. They go looking at houses. Reginae has to make a decision whether or not she's going to actually stay in LA or take her tail back to Atlanta, because she realizes that she is spending a lot of money. So back in Atlanta, Nita, Toya's mother, is making dinner for Walter. Miss Anita loves to cook for her children. Walter is in the booth. He in there rapping, child. You know, I don't know why everybody want to be a damn rapper these days. You must make a whole lot of money rapping. And my thing is, people have to understand, rapping is cool and all that, but you have to you got to be relatable. People got to give a damn about what the hell you talking about. People got to know who the hell you are, right? You got to be endorsed by the right people. It's like, everybody can't be a successful rapper. But again, that's what he out here doing, okay? So Walter is talking to the mother, and the mother is talking about how Toya ain't talking to her either, because Toya blocked her mother because her mother was acting a damn fool apparently at this parade as well. And her mother is just doing the damn most. Child, I don't know what's going on with Toya, where she got to keep on blocking her family members. She blocking her mama, blocking her brother. Girl. Sound like your family stressing you the hell out. I don't know what you need to do or see to know that this ain't healthy and it's not worth it. So moving on, Toya goes back home and she's hanging out with Lil Rain. Okay, Rain is so cute. She is really, really growing up. Like they do like some little. They both got their little bonnets on or whatever, and she's in there trying to do makeup on Toya and play and makeup with her. And Toya like, no, you ain't about to do all that to me, okay? But she's so cute. She's growing up. She can sing. Like she's very talented. That little girl. I think her and Eris, which is Tiny's daughter. They play together, but they both are super duper talented. So I don't know what's in the water with these little children nowadays, but Little Rain is cute. Her eyebrows, I can see her, going and getting them eyebrows done when she get older because they look thick. Her eyebrows look like mine when I was little, and I knew the first thing when I was old enough to do it, I was going to go get them eyebrows shaved off. Okay, right on down to regular people size. Okay, but other than that, Little Rain, she is just so cute. So moving on, Toya is sitting down with Red, okay, her husband. Can I tell you something? I love Red for Toya. I think that Toya has gone through so much in relationships in the past where what was that dude she was dating before that? I mean, she was married to before where um he had a whole issue with K Michelle and all this and the third. He was absolutely childish. I couldn't even understand how she was with him. It didn't even make no sense to me. But I'm so glad that she's out of that relationship. Memphis, yes. What's up, Sweet Pea? Sweet Pea says, "Hey, Shay and Chad, coming in saving my life, child." Memphis, yes. He was terrible. Like he was, I saw them on that marriage show or whatever where he was throwing stuff at her, and I was like, girl, you have patience, the patience of Job. There is no way that I would ever ever be dealing with this man. He is way too immature. He is a mama's boy to the max. Ugh, but this ain't about him. Red, love Red. Red is very level-headed. Red he got a good head on his shoulders, let's just say that. So Toya sits down with Red and she's talking about her brother Walter coming home from jail. So she's like, "Yeah, I want to do a cookout for Walter. I really want to spend some time with him, get him reintroduced with the family or whatever. And I know Casey gonna be there, and I really don't feel like dealing with him. I still got him on block, but of course he's going to end up coming because that's his brother too. I'm sure he want to see his brother." So Red was like, "Yeah, you go ahead and do that. I ain't coming." Red is like, "Listen, you deal with all that bullshit with your family. I'm not dealing with that. I don't got time for that. I don't got time for Casey and his shenanigans. You deal with your family. I ain't coming." And she was like, "Come on, Red, you gotta come. Like you gotta come and support me, basically." And he was like, "No." He was like, "Because at that thing when you was on that float, we look stupid as a family. Because if one of you is acting crazy, it definitely is a poor representation of everybody else in the family." And I feel him. I understand where Red was coming from because my thing is, don't ever try to embarrass me. If you want to be out here looking like a damn fool, you can be out here looking like a damn fool by yourself. Okay. Because I am very much known to dip out on a very nasty situation because I don't want to be involved. I don't want to be in nobody's videos. I have been fortunate enough to live my whole life doing stupid stuff and it wasn't caught on candid camera. Okay. Ain't no way now in this current future where everybody got their phone out recording some shit. I'm gonna go ahead and head on out. And if I'm gonna do something stupid, I'm gonna do it in the privacy of my own home. And ain't nobody gonna see it unless you hack into my Ring camera. Okay. That's it. That's all. All right. I ain't getting drunk in public. I'm not doing none of that stuff. So Casey doing that on that float, that made Toya look bad. She's a celebrity. They done had her come and do this, and you up here looking like a damn fool. And you think that everybody's supposed to think that's okay because you zoned out and you mourning your brothers. I'm sure Toya is mourning her brothers as well. That's not how you do it. Continue to talk to your therapist. That's what you need to do. So moving on, we go to the next scene where Toya's sister Beatty, she is meeting up with Danielle. Okay. Now Danielle seems to be like I told y'all, she the person that everybody come and talk to or whatever when they can't really talk to Toya about stuff. So basically, Beatty meets up with Danielle and tells her that she is back with what's the girl? What's the damn girl's name? Mel. She's back with Mel. Okay. Now, last season, Mel had a whole debacle with the family. Mel was the one in Beatty's ear telling her bad stuff about the family because Beatty would be venting to Mel and Mel would be like, they don't love you. They don't care about you. And this, that, and the third. She was putting stuff in Beatty's head. And I'm like, Beatty, you have got to see that this girl is not on your side. Then the girl was dating a man and carpet munching Beatty at the same time and told Beatty she don't want to be in a relationship with her. She wants to be with the man, but she can be in a relationship with her and the man. And then Beatty goes and finds her own man out of spite, even though she don't want to. Beatty looks like she is full on lesbianist. I don't think Beatty is bisexual at all. I think that Beatty didn't want to really come out to her family. I mean, last year she was nervous about coming out to her family, but she kind of hid behind the fact that she's bisexual. Okay. She's not, she tried to make it seem like she was just dipping her toe in. So she started dating this dude, and I feel like she was dating the man out of spite because everything had went awry with Mel, and she felt like Mel was kind of dissing her. And to show Mel that she ain't tripping off of her, but she is tripping off of her, she went full on with this guy. So now we fast forward, we in this new season, and apparently it didn't work out with the guy, and so she's back with Mel. So I would be interested. I wanted Toya to ask her, okay, so are you and Mel exclusive? Is Mel messing with somebody else? Like, is she still on this? Oh, it's just, we don't have a title on it. It's just about a feeling. Like, we just, I just have I care for Beatty. She didn't say that she was in a relationship with Beatty. I think Mel likes to play games with Beatty. And Beatty is so in love and like she's stupid in love. That's what it is. And Mel is over there taking advantage of her, unfortunately. I think that Mel kind of looks at Beatty as a friend that she can hunch on, that she's a little bit attracted to. And they playing, let's be honest, together. I don't really think that Mel is full on like that. I don't. I just really don't. Casey needs his be in therapy. Girl, yes. Okay. He apparently this season is going to therapy, but I don't know how great it's working. Okay. So basically, Beatty done told everybody but Toya that she's back messing with Mel. Well, she hasn't told Reginae at this point. So next episode, she gonna tell Reginae. But she ain't tell Toya. I don't know why everybody is so afraid to tell Toya stuff. I just feel like y'all ain't afraid to go to her and ask for shit. So you want her to be there for you, but you don't want to tell her about the shit that's going on in your life. I don't get it. It's like Toya, she's just being used left and right with her family. It's just sad. It's sad to me. So moving on, they have Danielle tells Beatty, listen, I know you back with Mel or whatever y'all doing. You brought her to your mother's birthday party last time. Don't bring her to this cookout for Walter. That ain't going to be a good look. I don't think that's a good idea. You haven't told Toya that you messing with her again yet. It is not going to work for you. It's not going to go well. And it's not basically Mel going to be uncomfortable if you bring her to this event and ain't nobody really fooling with her, which is Toya, and she the one putting the party on. So we get to the last scene of the episode where it's Walter's cookout. They're setting stuff up at a local park or whatever. Walter is there. I think his daughter comes or whatever, and Casey is there. The mother is there, and the mother is acting like a damn plum fool, and Toya is embarrassed. So Toya is looking at the mother. The mother is like, I'm grown. I can do what I want. And she's just walking around having outbursts or whatever. And Toya is looking at her like, did you relapse? Like, what are you doing? Like the mother is giving off behavior that she exhibited when she was using. And so Toya is always confused, like, okay, am I coming at her too much? Am I being concerned? Like, is it I want to make sure she's okay, but also she's embarrassing me type of thing. So Toya and Beatty had a little back and forth, and Beatty was like, I don't even know. Toya was upset, and she was talking to Danielle, and she's like, pretty much, I'm sick of my mother when she acts like that. And Beatty was like, I don't know why it bothers you so much. You need to just let it roll off your back. Like, it don't bother me like that. So Toya was getting upset with Beatty because she's like, why do you just act like you don't care all the time? Like, that gets on my nerves. Like, by y'all acting like y'all don't care, that makes the behaviors for her, it makes their mother, Nita, think that behavior is okay. So the mother is over there making excuses, talking about Rudy and Joshua. She thinks about it all the time, and she's upset over their passing or whatever, and that's her excuse for why she's over there acting out. Listen, nobody can tell anybody how long or how to grieve, right? But in this moment is about Walter, essentially. So you in here acting like a plum got daggone fool. This is not a memorial or a in remembrance of Joshua, and Rudy. This is not one of those things. You need to be happy and over here celebrating your son Walter coming home, nurturing the relationships with your sons that are still alive, being a good mother, holding it the freak together. But Toya is like the one that it seemed like she got to parent her damn parent, which is crazy to me. Now, I can see both sides. Now, with Toya, I can see where she's getting upset with Beatty because she's like, damn, Beatty, can you like back me up? And Beatty is like she does this all the time and she's not going to change. So why am I going to overexert myself and give all this energy to a situation where mom, basically their mom is going to do what she want to do. So I can respect Beatty in that regard too, because it's like, I'm not going to keep on chastising our mother. She's going to do whatever she wants to do. No matter what we say, no matter how upset we get, it's going to be what it's going to be. So the episode ends with Casey walking up and Toya is basically like, oh shit, here we go. So Casey walks up and, he attempts to speak to Toya. And he gives her a hug or whatever. And Toya was like, oh, hello, whatever. Okay, hi. And she's just like, listen, you're still on the block list. I ain't fucking with you right now. You don't know how to talk to me. And I'm not about to be dealing with that shit. Okay, so just be on your damn best behavior today. Don't get on my nerves. That was basically the energy she was giving him. So Walter walks up. Red is there. And, he's talking to Toya and calming her down. Like, listen, it's going to be okay. Your brother Casey is going to be Casey. It's going to be what it's going to be. Don't let him bother you. Don't let him or your mother piss you off. This is something nice that you've done for your brother. Let's celebrate Walter. And that's that on that. Don't let them get under your skin. So when Walter comes up, Toya gives this profound, nurturing speech about how, all these years she needed him and, she loves that he's back and he's going to be the person that's going to help her look after everybody. And, she loves him so much. She feels like he's really grown and, she's just happy to have an additional support system where it comes to keeping the family together. So Walter gets emotional and Beatty is over there. Beatty always gets upset over the silliest stuff. Like Beatty is like, I just feel like I thought me and my sister understood each other and it kind of makes me feel unappreciated because, she's opened up to her and she feels like she has been helping to support her and keeping the family together. But by her saying what she said to Walter, making it seem like, oh, I've had to do everything on my own, Beatty feels like she's denouncing her as a support system. I'm like, Beatty, you don't even really be around, honey. Apparently you over here chasing Mel. Only reason you around now because you live in Toya's house. Like, what are you doing to help support this rah-rah with Casey And now apparently Walter, from what MLC Capricorn 72 said, it's ridiculous. Like BD is overly emotional in certain instances. And it's like you talking about how you thought that y'all were closer than that. You thought that you ain't even tell the girl that you back with Mel. So you don't even feel as close to her as you upset that she's not close to you. Y'all have still been trying to rebuild y'all relationship. So I don't understand why you are having all of these emotions. But when you need help or you need somebody to be there for you, you Johnny on the spot calling Toya. When can she call you and ask you for help? I'll wait. No, I won't, because we'll be here forever. Moving on. So Toya and Walter have a little heart to heart, and he's like, I'm happy that I'm back. Then he basically is like, I'll be the one. I think I can be the one that can really get through to Casey, because me and Casey have been through similar situations where, I've been down for a while and back and forth in and out of jail, haven't been able to be there for my kid or whatever. I miss Rudy and Joshua too. I lost brothers too. But, Casey can't be talking to you crazy like that. So Walter goes over and talks to Casey, and he's like, listen, you got to get yourself together. You can't be acting like this. You can't be doing the most. Like, Toya is our sister. Like, get yourself together. Then he sends Walter gives Casey's baby mama a hug, and he tells Casey that he needs to speak to her. And the baby mama walks away with their kid talking about something. I ain't doing that. I ain't doing that. Don't talk to me. Leave me alone. I was like, damn, Casey must have really done a number on her, because she ain't fucking with him. So moving on, Walter says, listen, I know it's not easy. I know it's frustrating at times, but you really got to get your stuff together, because this right here, this that you're doing, this ain't right. So moving on, Toya takes it upon herself to go and look at a space because she wants to grow. Wait no more. Okay. So she talks to the gym manager, and she's like, I really think that we need a bigger space. Like, it would be really helpful if we had somewhere, like we would bring in more clients. So she talks to her friends, because she's having her friends come and do a workout that's going to be led by Red. Okay. So they have the friends come in, they work out and all this, that, and the third. And Danielle points out, she was like, yeah, I don't really work out like that, but it's hard to get into a class because y'all classes be filled up. And even I believe Rashida came, and she came at the last damn minute. Monietta Shaw was there. There was two other people there. I can't remember what their names were, but all Atlanta, reality celebs rather. So they all work out. Red goes out to take a shower and change his clothes or whatever, and they still in there talking. And she's talking about getting this bigger space, talking about Casey and her problems with her brothers and Walter and whatnot. And also, Reginae and her being in LA, blah, blah, blah. So Red comes back and he says, oh, y'all want to do a round 2 workout? And they were like, hell no. So they walk on out of there. So Toya reveals to them that she's going to look at another space, and it's right over in the same shopping center that they're in, or the same little commercial area that they're in. So she goes and meets with the person to sign the lease for the place. And she signs the lease and don't tell Red. So she had a conversation with Red about expansion, and he says, I don't want to expand right now. It's not time. Now, I get it. I move on shit without you as far as equipment or whatever, but I would never do to you what you're doing to me, because she has him come to the space. Like, they had worked out at the gym in another scene, and she takes him over to the space that she signed for, and he gets extremely pissed. He's like, you did this, you get the fuck out of it, or you're going to be paying for this by yourself, and I'm not dealing with it. I was like, wow, Toya, I definitely wouldn't have did that. I wouldn't have did that. Okay. I understand you telling him that you business, you've done different businesses and they've been successful, whatever the case may be, but you are not the person in there running the day-to-day with Wait No More. So if he is telling you, he may be telling you without saying it on camera that yes, our classes are full, but it's not enough yet where we have just way too much over where we're making an exuberant amount of money where we've surpassed working with this space. And Toya, I get what she was thinking. She's like, okay, this space is bigger. We can use it, like we can use it as an event space. Because even at the gym that I teach at 7 p.m. Fitness here in Upper Marlboro, Maryland, she does something where she has the equipment along the walls so that she can put curtains up in front of the equipment and not have to move it every time somebody has an event. But people can use it's a big space, so people can use the space in the middle and have parties, you know, bat mitzvahs, whatever the hell they want to do, baby showers, come to Jesus moments, whatever you want to do. You can have the events at 7 p.m. Fitness. Okay. So she was trying to do that at Wait No More, where people can have events there and she can have a gym, they work out, all that good stuff. I get it. Event spaces are hard to find that are affordable. So when you can find like a gym that's like a diamond in the rough that you can do that at, you save a shit ton of money. But Red is like, I'm not trying to do that. I don't want to do it. You did it. You get out of it. And Toya, yeah, I can't get with you on this one, friend. That was really fucked up. You can't just go making decisions like that without your partner. It don't work like that. So moving on, we got Reginae over here in LA. She went to do some improv stuff. I think she did pretty good. She did pretty good. The guy told her that somebody was chasing her and she had to act like they were chasing her, and then she goes in the house, locks the door behind her, whatever. Now, only thing I ain't like was when she was in the house and they knocked on the door. She was like, nobody's here. Is that what you're going to say if you running away from somebody? Nobody's here. Okay, Reginae, but okay. If that's how you doing it, girl, that's how you doing it. But moving on. Then we see Beatty in the park doing yoga with Mel. Okay. So they're sitting there talking, and Mel basically expresses how she felt disrespected when she met the family, and everybody just had all these strong opinions about her, and how Toya and Reginae was talking crazy to her, and she didn't appreciate it. So she was like, I feel like you didn't even defend me in that moment. She felt like Beatty didn't have her back. And B was like, yeah, I totally understand. And I'm really sorry for that, or whatever the case may be. And Mel was like, yeah, I really felt ambushed. Like, I just really felt like I was there on behalf of you, but it's just too much. So B was like, yeah, I really beat myself up all the time over that. I'm really sorry. And I wouldn't let that happen again, or whatever the case may be. So BD, listen. You can't let your family in your relationship, girl. They don't like Mel. Hell, I don't like Mel. Okay. I don't think she is good for you. But at the end of the day, you gonna do what you want to do, sis. Okay. You gonna be out here doing yoga in the park, doing handstands, scissor sessions, whatever you want to do with Mel. Whatever she do to you at this point, it's all on you. Okay. All on you. It's crazy. This girl is not really checking for you. And the fact that you don't see that, it's on you. But moving on. We get to we talked about Reginae talking to her father, meeting with Lil Wayne and talking about how expensive shit is in LA. And he was like, really, it is what it is. Everything is expensive, blah, blah, blah. Toya sits down and talks to Reginae about Casey and her mother at little Rain's soccer game. She was like, basically, I don't talk to Casey. I ain't trying to be checking for him. I'm just really sick and tired of him and the way that he talks to me. And yes, I saw him at Walter's cookout. He came, but that ain't really, I'm not really trying to be dealing with that. It's just too much. And then she talked about how she blocked their mother, blocked her mother Nita because of how she was acting at the daggone cookout. I said earlier she had blocked her. She blocked her after the cookout because she was just tired of how her mother, she didn't like the way her mother acted. And Reginae was like, you got to stop letting these people stress you out. Like, listen, they're our family. We love them, but you are the common denominator of your stress. You have got to stop letting these people run over you like this. Either just leave them where they are. She was like, just deal with your immediate family. Me, Rain, Red, I guess his daughter or whatever, and then the daughter that she's raising from one of her brothers. Like, let it go. Stop trying to save people. You can't save nobody. And that's crazy that her own daughter is explaining this to her. So we in one of the final scenes, Casey, Nita, and Walter go to dinner with Bey and Mel. Something went down my throat, y'all. So Bey has pretty much had everybody meet Mel and hang out with Mel, but Toya. So they're sitting there talking about, oh, okay, what's been going on with you? Like, oh, why you ain't tell Toya? So you ain't tell Toya yet that you talking to Mel? Child, I don't know. Walter flirting with the waitress. I guess he been gone for a while. He got to get something somewhere, child. So moving on. Mel is having a conversation with Nita, asking how she feels about having Casey and Walter back home. And Nita is happy. She's talking about how she loves cooking for them. She loves having them around. Then they get into talking about Toya and her not knowing about Mel. And basically how Toya ain't talking to none of them anyway, except for Walter. And Walter was like, listen, from my understanding, there was a misunderstanding with y'all. Like, that's my big sister. And I'm trying to be understanding of both sides of the coin, but it's like, I got to respect that. I got to respect how she feels. And then he was like, listen, y'all back together. I think it's going to be imperative for Bey to go ahead and let Toya know what's going on. It is what it is. So he was like, it's going to be firecrackers. It's going to be all these things, but you need to meet up with Toya. It is what it is. So I can see that, because at the end of the day, sitting up here, everybody knowing about Mel hanging out with Bey again, and everybody going to dinner with her and all this, that, and the third, but you not telling Toya, it's just a lot. It's giving a lot. And Mel, if you really are around and you're genuine with Bey, then why you don't want, I mean, I would be encouraging her to let her know that we back together. It is what it is, but child, Bey sitting there being quiet as usual, having absolutely nothing to say, while Walter is obviously trying to make sure that they can make this connection. But it is what it is. Miss Nita is okay with it as well, apparently. So, child, I don't know. Anyway, this is the end where Toya takes Red to the facility, and he is just like, no, I'm not having it. So we open up episode 3, where Red is not talking to Toya. He is super pissed off with her. He's like, I told you, if you want to do this, you gonna do it. I'm not helping you with this. You gonna be the one to have to get out of it. So Red is seen, he's doing a hike. Apparently they go hiking with some people from the gym, a couple of their friends or whatever. And he's talking to the gym manager. And he expresses to him that Toya went and got a bigger space, and that he doesn't appreciate her going behind his back and doing it. And he's pissed off. And he's like, yeah, I haven't even been talking to her or whatever. And he feels okay with venting because Red is kind of a person that keeps everything in, and he don't really want a whole lot of people in his business. So he's venting to two of his friends. So he's like, I just feel like us being a small boutique right now is what I want. And he said, eventually I do want to expand. I want to open up small gyms all over Georgia or whatever, all over Atlanta. But I don't want to do it where we get some big ass gym. He just wants to do small boutique gyms all over the place. And he probably wants to do something like a franchise type thing where people can open up gyms in different places and they get really nationally recognized or whatever. That makes sense. Slow and steady wins the race. So I see what Red is trying to do. But I also feel like there's a bit of miscommunication because I wonder if he has told Toya this. Did he tell Toya that he want to open up small gyms all over the place so that they can get more recognition in wide scale in the area? I don't think he said that to her, because if he said that to her, then I'm pretty sure she can think big picture like that versus going and just getting a bigger space to better where they currently are. Now, also, I wouldn't even really see a problem with getting a bigger gym for their flagship gym. You know what I mean? Like having a bigger space to accommodate people. But again, this is something that they need to have better communication about. So Red is just like, listen, overall, it sort of was a great idea what she did, but I don't really like that she ain't talk to me. So fuck it. I'm gonna stop talking to her and I'm just gonna be stubborn. So two stubborn ass people together is what it seems like with them. So Toya in a parallel scene at a horse ranch is talking to her friend Danielle, and she's telling her about what she did. And Danielle said, "Oh yeah, I would be pissed too if you did that." She was like, you got to apologize, Toya. You fucked up. Okay, that's on you. You need to make it right." And Toya was like, "Well, what? How am I do? How am I get out of it? I signed a lease or whatever. So I don't know what I'm going to do." And she was like, "Yeah, girl, I don't know what you're going to do, but you got to get it together." And she was like, "Yeah, and Red ain't talking to me, girl. He is giving me the silent treatment." Okay. So I'm like, okay, girl, figure it out. So Reginae is still in Atlanta, and her and Beatty go and do some stuff where they making carpets or they design and personalized stuff. I don't know, tufting. They're tufting. So at this little get together, Beatty ends up telling Reginae that she is back with Mel. So Reginae is like in her head, she like, I don't fuck with Mel. But you know what, Beatty? If that's what makes you happy, then I'm all ears. Go ahead, girl. Do your thing, little daddy. Okay. She said, however, you done told everybody but my mama at this point. So you might want to go on and tell my mama. I wonder what happened to Beatty and Reginae's little clothing line. I think last season Reginae did say that she wanted to take more of a back seat from it, from the clothing line that they were doing. I think they were doing like athleisure stuff, and Reginae was going off and doing her own thing. So I think Reginae probably felt like, Beatty wasn't really putting all the work into it as she was, and that her prestige or her, Reginae being a celebrity or of some sorts is what was really selling the product, and she felt like Beatty was just kind of taking. I really feel like, and this is just alleged in my opinion, I feel like Reginae felt like Beatty was kind of riding her coattails or whatever. That's what I got from last season when she wanted to get out of the business with Beatty. But that's just my opinion. So I don't think they're doing the business together anymore. So I wonder what Beatty is doing, because I think that that was kind of like a main source of income for her with that clothing line. I don't know if she has since taken it over herself or what. So moving on, okay, we get to Reginae in the next scene. She goes over to her friend's house. Her friend Lourdes has a baby now. I'm like, wait a damn minute, Reginae, all your friends got kids but you. I think it's just her and one other friend that ain't got no kids, because Lourdes ain't had no damn kids last season when they were on here. So they must have been gone for quite some time, or at least 9 months for her to have a baby. This little baby looked like it's like 3-4 months. So Reginae comes in and she playing with the baby. And I'm like, she said, just here, take it or something. I was like, not calling the baby a it. Because they were going in the back to do something. And she just totally disregarded the baby. And she was like, oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I'm like, oh my God. I really hope this girl don't have no damn kids in no time soon. She was just the baby had pooped or whatever. And she just sits the baby down. I'm like, Reginae, what the hell? That whole scene was just funny to me. She said, I'm sorry. Hold on, let me tell y'all exactly what she said because it was funny as hell to me. She just said, get it. You can smell it, right? What she said? Hold on, y'all. Bear with me because this part was kind of funny. You know what that means. Cause she pooped and she said, your nanny's a lucky girl. Oh, that's right. She said, hold this. That's what she said. She sat the baby on the counter and said, hold this. And moved her arms away from the baby. I was like, I hope this baby can sit up and his back can support itself. Like, who the hell? Don't ever put Reginae on the babysitter list, okay? Don't do that. That ain't gonna work. So in the next scene, Red is working out at the house. Toya is sitting there and she's like, can we talk, please? And he was like, all right, I'm listening. So he working out. She was like, can you turn around and look at me? I mean, damn. So he turns around and she was like, he turns around and he still ain't saying nothing. She was like, Red, I'm so sorry. She was like, I didn't mean it. I apologize. And she was like, I just don't like that you're giving me a cold shoulder. Like, I don't like this. So he was like, yes, I'm still mad at you because I don't appreciate you basically not talking to me when you go and make these decisions. You make these crazy decisions without consulting me first. And it's like he feels disrespected. He's like, this is just so crazy to me because I would never put you in a position like that where I go sign a lease for something and leave you to deal with it later. He's like, you don't do anything at the gyms as far as the management. You don't know what the day-to-day, how it is with the day-to-day. Like, I'm the one that handles everything. So I don't appreciate you doing that. So she says she apologizes to him again. He comes over to her and she hugs him and kisses him and embraces him or whatever. And she was like, don't you miss me? I know you miss me. And I'm pretty sure he missed his wife because them two just seem, I don't know, they are just so cute together to me. So she eventually tells him, okay, and I got out of the lease. I was able to get out of it. We don't have to deal with it anymore. So I think he was pretty happy about that, but he was like, oh, okay, good, because in any event, you was going to be the one dealing with it. So then she tells him that she's planning a family reunion where she wants to get all of her brothers and sisters together in New Orleans, basically all of her father's children. And she just wants everybody to come together. And he's like, you want your mother and your father's side of the family to come together? He was like, that's going to be a mess. She was like, I mean, it's time for us to all get together or whatever. And he was like, oh, okay, good luck with that. And he was like, have you even talked to your mother? She was like, no. He said she's still on block. She was like, yeah. And he was like, how is this going to work? You're not talking to your mother. You're not talking to Casey. Like, how you supposed to be having a family reunion and you're not even talking to core people in your damn family? He was like, this is going to be a mess. I'm not with it. So he's like, okay, well, do what you does, little daddy. This is gonna be crazy, but okay, girl, whatever. She's like, well, family is very important to me, so I'm gonna make it happen. Toya, okay, girl, do your little thing. Do your thing, okay? So Red meets up with the guys. They go-kart racing or whatever. So, oh, before that, Toya talks to her father on the phone. So her father lives in New Orleans and she has a pretty good relationship with her father. She's talked about how she's repaired her relationship with her father over the years. I think Toya is the oldest child on both sides of her family, where with her mother and her father. So the father told her that he got 17 kids and he want to get all his kids together. He going to be excited about it. He with the family reunion type of deal. So she meets up with her brother Walter later on, and he said that the father got 26 kids. I thought that was really interesting. The world may never know. I guess we'll see at this family reunion. So moving on, the guys get together. Red, Casey, and Walter. So Casey talked to Walter at that little lunch that they did with Mel and Beatty. And he basically is like, I want to figure out a way to talk to Toya. So he thinks that the way to do it is to talk to Red. So Red sits down with them after they do the little racing thing because Casey reveals that he loves to drive fast cars or whatever. So Red was like, basically, I feel like you was disrespectful to Toya. The way that you acted on that float was absolutely insane. You should not have been acting like that. That was just real fucked up. So Casey was like, I mean, for real, I think Toya owe me an apology. And Red was like, you have got to be kidding. You have got to be fucking kidding me. This girl bends over backwards for y'all. She's always there for y'all. Y'all always getting into some shit. And she always saving y'all ass. And you think that she's supposed to apologize to you after you were being super disrespectful? That is extremely fucked up. He was like, I'm out of here. I'm not even sitting around to talk about this. So this is where Walter was sitting there with Casey, and he's like, man, you got to get your shit together. He was like, I mean, I got a therapist. I'm trying to get my life together, but I just feel like she don't understand where I'm coming from. I was grieving. Casey makes excuses for his behavior, and I am really sick and tired of it. You have got to grow up. You're not a little child. And even my 8-year-old son handles things way better than this man does, this grown-ass man. You've got to cut the shit. Nobody owes you anything. And the thing is, I don't know why he targets Toya with all of his nastiness. He don't do this shit to Beatty. He don't do this to his mother. Hell, he ain't going to Walter with it. So I think that he has revealed that he feels like Toya is the reason why their brothers are no longer here. Which it's not Toya's fault that the brothers were living the lifestyles that they lived. That had nothing to do with her. So to put that on her is absolute blasphemy. I think it's really effed up for you to sit up here and blame your sister for the unaliving of your brothers. It's real fucked up. But, Casey is a petulant child. And he thinks that everybody's supposed to agree with him and do whatever. Like, he just seems to use Toya as his forever punching bag. And if I was her, I wouldn't allow him. I wouldn't maintain that position. So moving on, Danielle goes out to eat with Bey and Mel. We really didn't learn anything new here. I think that Danielle is trying to fill Mel out in this moment just to kind of see what the relationship is like with her and Beatty. She didn't really ask her the questions that I wanted her to ask. I would have liked if Danielle had asked if this is a exclusive relationship. Are they monogamous? Is Mel dating anybody else? Is Beatty dating anybody else? Well, Beatty is not dating Rick anymore. She is exclusive with Mel. But is Mel exclusive with her? And how long does Mel play? Is this something temporary for Mel? But Danielle also reveals, listen, y'all better go on and tell Toya before somebody else do. And it ain't gonna be a good conversation if you keep on. And she finds out that everybody knows but her. Okay. So moving on, Toya ends up having a conversation with her mother. They sit down and talk. And she basically tells her mother, I really didn't appreciate how you were acting at the cookout for Walter. Like, you were making it about you and it wasn't about you. And you were acting weird. And her mother was like, you'll never understand what it's like to lose a child. And I hope, I really hope you don't never have to experience that. But losing a child is something that I think about every single day. It never escapes me. Like, I think about them every single day. And Toya is like, listen, while I understand that, you got to act right for the kids that's still here. Like, we still alive and you up here acting like a plumb damn fool. So it just seems to me that Nita and Casey, they make excuses for their poor behavior. And Toya is at a point where she's just tired of dealing with it. But Toya also has to make a choice to just, you got to cut them off and don't applaud this stupid ass behavior. It's ridiculous. It is absolutely ridiculous. So she tells her mother about the family reunion that she's trying to put together. And the mother was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to come. Because she told her that her dad is going to be there. And the mother is like, you know, oh, yeah, I'm going to be there. We might even meet up. We might get back together. I'm like, girl, this man got 17 to 26 children. Why do you want to deal with him? Well, you ain't fertile no more, so I guess it might be okay. But I'm sure he's still messing around with some other women, child. But Toya was like, leave my daddy alone, girl. That's it for you. We ain't doing that. So we get to one of the last scenes where Walter had told in a previous scene, told Casey that maybe he can get through the Toya. It didn't work with him talking to Red. Maybe he can get through to Toya by talking to her daughter, Reginae. So Reginae is in Atlanta doing some more improv stuff. So they do some improv and whatnot. It was pretty funny. Casey joined in. So they sit down and talk. And Casey basically tells Reginae how he feels, and he feels like Toya owes him an apology. He feels like Toya don't listen to him, and this, that, and the third. And Reginae tells him straight up, straight like that, you are fucking entitled, and don't nobody got time for that. My mother doesn't have to deal with your shit. You a grown-ass man, and you think that somebody owe you something, and they don't. And Casey was like, well, I'm your sister, and I mean, I'm your uncle. You don't need to be talking to me like that. She was like, you know what? Listen, I'm trying to have some respect because you're my uncle, but I'm losing it by the minute. You about to piss me off. She even was like, turn the cameras off. Turn the cameras off. I was like, damn. Reginae ain't got time for you and your shit, okay? She is over you and your shit. So he's over here making excuses, talking about how Toya disrespected him and she didn't understand what he was going through and this, that, and the third. And Reginae is like, no, I don't got time for that. Then he talking about something. I raised you. You can't. I'm your uncle. Don't be talking to me like that. She was like, no, you didn't. And then he was like, and your mother was out when your mother was out in the club. I was raising you. And she was like, what the hell are you talking about? My mother don't even be clubbing like that. Like you just making up shit. Now you lying. Now you lying on my mother. My mother is not like that. And my mother was a good mother. What you're not about to do is make up shit where it comes to my mother. I'm like, what the hell is he even talking about? If she went out on the weekends to the club, that doesn't make her a terrible mother. And furthermore, how would you know what she was doing? You was in jail most of the time. So what the hell are you talking about? So Reginae was completely done with him, and she was ready to go upside his head. So moving on, in the last scene, Toya is talking to her brother Walter. And they're pretty much having much of the same type of conversation where she's talking about how she's happy he's around to help deal with their mother and Casey, and how she really needs his help with getting through to Casey. They talk about the 9 years that he was in prison, how he wasn't able to be around his daughter, and how he really wants to be there to raise his child. And, you know, he wants to be a better person. And this time around, he want to make sure everything is right. He ain't going to be fucking up like he was last time. So Toya is like, yeah, you know, I really want to see you do well. Anything I can do to support you, I'm with it. So then they get into talking about Beatty, and it comes out that Beatty and Mel are back together. And Toya was like, Walter says, yeah, because, you know, we had dinner with Beatty and Mel the other night or whatever. And she was like, what? Beatty and Mel? Beatty and Mel back together? And she was like, yeah. He was like, yeah, was I not supposed to say nothing about that? And she was like, what the fuck? Like, why wouldn't Beatty tell me that? So Beatty was on FaceTime. That's what happened. Beatty was on FaceTime, and they were talking about the family reunion. and Casey was on the phone too. So it was Beatty and Casey on the FaceTime. And they were talking, Casey was talking about, am I invited to the family reunion? And Toya was like, yeah, you're invited to the family reunion, Casey. Like, what the hell? And he was like, you can't deny me because that's my family too. So then Walter, that was when Walter had said to Casey was like, I love you, Toya. And Toya was like, I love you back. And so Walter has said to Beatty, I think he said, are you going to bring Mel? Hold on, let me see. I'm looking at the wording. I want to make sure I tell y'all the right thing because this is the end of the episode. No, they got off the phone. So Walter was just having a conversation with Toya, and it just comes out about them going to dinner and how Mel was there. So Toya is like, what the fuck? How the fuck y'all have a whole family dinner and Mel and Beatty are back together and ain't nobody tell me? And he was like, oh shit, was I not supposed to say that? Oh my God, I done fucked up. And that was the end of the episode. But let me tell y'all something. Toya and Reginae, this is a good show. I loved the last season and I love this season. Toya, your family crazy as fuck, okay? And now I'm about to go, because MLC Capricorn 72 says so, I'm about to go find this video of Walter acting like fucking Casey and dumping all over Toya. I cannot believe that he turned on her like that. He seems so mature. So I really want to see, maybe he's starting to smell himself because he's been out of jail for a while, for a little bit. But this is crazy to me. But y'all comment down below. Are y'all interested in Toya and Reginae? Do y'all want to continue to see me review this show? We're going to do, if I get a good enough response, I will start doing every episode after this. So episode 4 comes on Friday. So it comes on Fridays at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock, I believe, on BTV. So we will add this to our arsenal of shows that we talk about if it's something that y'all are interested in. And I think that y'all should be. So thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that wants to watch the show with us too. And I will see you in the next video. Peace out.